Hello and good morning to all of you that have joined the Symantec Backup Exec webinar today. We appreciate your attendance. My name is Mia Zucht, and I am a Senior Marketing Manager here at Ingram Micro. And I'd like to welcome you to today's meeting. Today we have the pleasure of Ms. Susie Spencer, who is a Senior Product Marketing Manager at Symantec, to present to us on Backup Exec. And at the end of the presentation, we will be awarding 3 $100 Amazon gift cards chosen at random. So make sure to stay for the entire session. Also, just as a quick housekeeping note, we will be sending out the presentation as well as recording of today's meeting via email within the next 24 hours. And so make sure you will be on the lookout for that as well. With that, I am at this time going to turn it over to Susie Spencer. One more quick note, if you do have any questions during the presentation, please use your Q&A feature on your computer, or we will open it up to a live phone Q&A at the end. So with that, Susie?
All right. Thanks, Mia, and thanks, everyone, for taking the time out to join us today. We're excited to share some information with you about a new release that just came out a few weeks ago, Backup Exec. So just to kind of take you through the agenda, we're going to talk about the new Backup Exec releases. And then if any of you are new to Backup Exec, we're just going to do a quick refresher on some of the key functionality and what customers really care about when it comes to Backup Exec. Then we're going to talk about sales opportunities, really where we're seeing the best opportunities for our partners to make money with Backup Exec. And we'll end with promotions and additional resources and Q&A, as Mia mentioned as well. So jumping right into the new Backup Exec releases, hopefully you're aware we just came out with some service pack releases for both Backup Exec 2012 and Backup Exec 2010. And our main focus of both of the service packs was, number one, platform support, virtualization, so adding support for new virtual environments, and then also for new Microsoft applications. So these really, Backup Exec has been in the market for a long time, over 20 years. We came out with Backup Exec 2012 over a year ago, and this is a service pack update to Backup Exec 2012. So you'll see it in a moment, but we'll kind of cover what the service pack updates are and what they mean and how customers can go about getting them. Before I dive into really what specific functionality is in the service packs, I wanted to give you guys a quick look into what we've done differently with this release to make sure it was a really solid release and very well tested. This was the first time in Backup Exec product history that we've had the largest beta in program history. We had over 26 Tier 1, what we call high-touch customers. So what that means is high-touch is we went to their locations and we went basically we had a product manager and an engineer go to these 26 customer sites and be there while they installed the beta. So they installed the beta, they were there to answer questions, see what the customer experience was like, and help with any issues that they saw. Besides the Tier 1, we had over 3,900 customers that were registered in just a regular beta process. And what was different was it was a simultaneous release of 2 product versions, 2010 as well as 2012. And the reason why we did that was, we saw with Backup Exec 2012 that a lot of our customers weren't ready to move to that version yet. It has a completely new, different interface and a different way of organizing and setting up backups. And some customers who are extremely familiar with Backup Exec weren't quite ready. So we felt it was very prudent to update both of those releases for customers who are on 2010 and still need support for Windows Server 2012 and some of the other things that we've added in. So with these releases, we have over 100 fixes have been made with 2010 and 2012. And when we looked at how many customer cases were being solved with these service packs, it's actually, I think, over now close to 1,500 customer cases that are being solved with these releases. And just to even take it one step further, some of those tier one customers were involved in the final release. So before we went out and said, okay, the product is globally available, these customers had to approve and say that it was good to go. So this kind of just, I wanted to walk you guys through this so that you could understand one of our mantras at Symantec, and what you'll hear from us and see from us going forward is that it's all about quality and making sure we release a solid product. We will not compromise on quality. There may be a time where we'll compromise on adding features into a product if the quality can't be where we want it to be, and move that out to a little bit later. And you'll kind of see that with this release, because I'll talk about what's in it and what's not in it and when it's coming. So we'll get to there. Okay, so the maintenance packs, let me tell you what's in them. So these are for Backup Exec 2010 and 2012. These became generally available on July 25th. So Backup Exec 2010, the latest version is R3, so Release 3, SP for Service Pack SP3. And what's in that version is support for Windows Server 2012 as an agent, support for Hyper-V 2012 for VMware ESX 5.1, and then the various Microsoft applications that you see there, SQL 2012, SQL 2008, and Exchange 2010. Now, for Backup Exec 2012, it is now SP2, so just keep that in mind, Service Pack 2. Again, it's support for Windows Server 2012 as an agent, support for Hyper-V, VMware ESX 5.1, and then we've got SQL 2012, 2008, Exchange 2010, Exchange 2013, and SharePoint 2013. So there's a couple of caveats that I need to make sure all partners are aware of, and that is that when we have, you see on these slides, it says Windows Server 2012 Agent. Right now, you cannot install Backup Exec 2012 or 2010 directly on a Windows Server 2012. So you have to, a customer would have to have a Windows Server 2008 or other supported platform in their environment, and they can protect that Windows Server 2012 using an agent that's installed on that system. So it cannot be installed directly on that Server 2012 and used as a media server. That's the biggest question that we've gotten from our customers is, okay, you've got support for Windows Server 2012 as an agent. When is full support coming as a media server? And that will be coming in our next release. Right now, plan of record, and things change, but plan of record today is that we will have that support before the end of our fiscal year. So again, one of the things you'll see from us is Symantec, if you've been with us for quite a while, we've been very date-driven. And everything has, if we gave a date, we had to meet that date, and sometimes quality would suffer. We would suffer a little bit on the quality side, or something else. We're not going to be date-driven anymore as much. It's all going to be around product quality and focusing on when that making sure that it's ready to go. If it's not ready, we're not going to release it. So these products, it took us a little longer than we anticipated to get them out. It's been, Windows Server 2012 has been in the market for almost a year now, and it's taken us a while to get that support. We've been getting things back in line. So just so you know, that's the key thing going forward. And the end of our fiscal year is March of 2014. So that's when Symantec's fiscal year ends. Now, if an existing customer has maintenance, these are service packs, so they will be pushed out to them, no additional charge. There's a couple of ways that customers can get these service packs. They can go to our tech notes, to the technical support site, and download them from the knowledge base. They can also get them through Live Update. So The service packs have been pushed out to live update now. So if a customer is running one of 2012 or 2010, they can get the live update, and then they can also download them from File Connect. So, number of ways that customers can get these different service packs. Now, one final thing I'll mention on this slide, you see Exchange 2013, SharePoint 2013, and in parentheses you see no GRT. What that means is for those two Microsoft applications, we do not yet have support for granular recovery. Now, granular recovery is something that's been a part of Backup Exec for a long time. And it's still available for Exchange 2010 for other Microsoft applications, but for Exchange 2013 and SharePoint 2013, it's not available yet. That is also planned for the next release of Backup Exec, and just so you know, that is coming. So that's the service packs. That's what's new. That's what came out on the 25th of July. So I want to share with you some really great feedback. And the feedback that we got, this was from the beta. So this was, even when we first initially launched the beta, we saw some great response on Twitter. And one of my favorites was, seriously, are you sure it's a beta? And they had a smiley face, and we kind of followed up with him to find out what his experience was. And he thought it was, such a solid product that it was ready for release at that time. So really happy with the beta. I mean, you see Yeehaw backing up my Hyper-V like a Mustang. One of my other most favorite comments was, by the hammer of Thor, what a great speed. And that was by Olivier Cesar, based out of Europe. And he actually posted a performance test before the service pack and after the service pack. So we've just seen great responses to the beta and to the product now that it's gone live. Now, so I kind of already talked about this when I was talking about the service pack releases, but we've got lots of questions. What about the future of Backup Exec, and what does that future include? The future does include new platform support. Microsoft is coming out very soon with Windows Server 2012 R2, and platform support will be our priority. That is a priority going forward. Quality number one, and then platform support. We also want to improve the overall user experience. Now, the user experience, again, I mentioned this earlier, but if you've been with Backup Exec for a while, Backup Exec 2010 and 2012 were pretty different. And new users to Backup Exec 2012 love it. Those who are used to the older version are, they're challenged a little bit when it comes to figuring out how to do things. But what we want to do is just make it easier. So for our existing customers, making it easier for them to seamlessly migrate to Windows Server 2012, because that is our goal, right? That's everyone's goal, is to make sure that customers are using the latest version of your product and they're taking advantage of that. And then just adding in new features also will be one of the features, and that's probably pretty much a given there. So if you are a little bit new to Backup Exec, let me just take a few quick moments and talk about key functionality that we have. And one of the biggest, and we'll talk about this also when we get to the key plays, but one of the biggest areas of growth for Backup Exec right now is in virtual machine protection. And Backup Exec can protect VMware and Hyper-V and provide complete protection for virtual environments. We can restore entire virtual machines, files, and folders. We can protect that entire virtual machine. And it's really, you buy one license per host, and you're covered. We also work very closely with VMware and Microsoft, so we're certified with both of those vendors to make sure that our product works with both of them. In terms of recovery capabilities, again, this is another key area for Backup Exec, where with what we call a single pass backup, meaning one backup, customers can get a myriad of recovery options. So from one backup, they can recover full virtual machines and applications. They can recover granular application data, granular files and folders. They can even redirect the recovery. So if they, if their initial backup was on one server and they want to recover to another server or to another virtual machine, they can redirect that recovery. So lots of different recovery options. And again, that single pass backup, that is a big benefit to customers. And just so you guys know what that means is that saves them on storage space. They don't have to do multiple pass backups to get, different recovery options, which they do have to do with some other virtual vendors out there. With a single backup, they can get all these recovery options, so that saves them on storage, that saves them on, the amount of time that they're doing backups on a daily or weekly basis. So there's lots of key benefits that you should be aware of and pass along to your customers. The final area is around deduplication, and just the fact that with our deduplication, that really helps also reduce that backup storage. In fact, we've seen deduplication rates up to 90% reduction with backup storage with our deduplication and backup exec, and we can deduplicate across all your customers' virtual backups. So that's another big advantage that we have. We have integrated bare metal disaster recovery. So with Windows Server 2012, this is something that we introduced. It's now disaster recovery is included directly in Backup Exec. So your customers don't have to go out and look for a separate solution to do disaster recovery. And with this integrated disaster recovery capabilities, they can restore to the same hardware, to different hardware. It really is key capability for customers, true backup and disaster recovery. Now, one thing you should be aware of in terms of the caveats I talked about earlier, this is not currently available for Windows Server 2012. We were waiting on some code from Microsoft in order to do that disaster recovery. So I believe we have it now and are testing it, but that will also be something that will be forthcoming. So that's just for Windows Server 2012. So if you have customers running any other supported operating system, that disaster recovery capability is there. And also, one of the other key capabilities is physical to virtual conversion. So this is where a customer can convert their backup of their physical system over to a virtual machine, whether it's VMware or Hyper-V. And customers have different ways that they can implement this. They can do it at the same time as they're doing their backup, so we call that simultaneous, or they can do that after the backup is completed, or another way we call that is serial. So they can schedule that to happen or do that simultaneously. So it's very flexible. And this is a great way, by the way, to get your customers who are interested in moving to virtual. This is a great way to get them started using this physical to virtual conversion. And I talked about your opportunity. It's really to help protect your customers' business and simplify their IT. I don't know any business if you went and talked to them and said, hey, can I help you simplify your IT organization? Who wouldn't jump up and down and say yes? Everyone is looking for ways to do this. So there are four key really things here is that you can help them implement business continuity and disaster recovery capabilities. We do a study every year that's really focused on disaster recovery and find that most customers still just aren't prepared in the event of a disaster. Another thing you can help them do is consolidate their servers. So many customers, and this is not anything new, but they've been trying to figure out for a while how to consolidate their physical servers down and save some of that rack space. You can also help them maintain or implement virtualization. And the other great thing that you can do, and I'll talk about why we need your help with this, but help them understand the benefits of a single solution for data protection. This was actually kind of surprising to us. We did a couple of surveys, and in our surveys, we asked them, how many solutions are you using for data protection? And we saw many who said 3 or 4 different solutions for data protection, some for physical, some for virtual, some for different applications. And a lot of it really comes down to customers not knowing what they already have and not knowing the capabilities that exist in the products that they have today. So that really is a big opportunity for partners as well. So let's talk about some key plays, and I've kind of already talked about virtualization, but let me just run through this to give you some idea of the opportunities that analysts see. So IDC has predicted by 2014, that's only next year, guys, I know, hard to believe, but by 2014, more storage capacity will be shipped to virtual environments than to non-virtual environments. And they say they're expecting the virtualization services market to grow to over $30 billion by the year 2016. So that's really not very far off, and that is just a huge opportunity. We know that many customers, in fact, over 75% of customers are already using virtualization in their environment. But when you ask them what their priorities are, it's to still increase their use of server virtualization. In fact, here we go. I just kind of alluded to this, right? More than 75% are using it. Top 3 priorities, and this is according to ESG, increasing server virtualization, improving data backup and recovery, and managing data growth. So we know that virtualization is a key driver, and you guys should be all over this already. So big opportunity. Now, the complication for a lot of customers is that they don't know how to effectively set up backup and recovery for their virtual environment. In fact, it was ranked as the least successful IT initiative. So this really is where you guys come in. When you look at why they're not backing up their virtual environments, a lot of them just lack the internal skills and experience. They need partners. They need trusted partners who can come in and help them figure out the best backup method for their virtual environment and help them reduce costs and just figure out how to get everything set up properly. So let's talk about Backup Exec, and just, again, this is probably, I'm sure, a refresher, and many of you hopefully have this ingrained into your heads by now, but with Backup Exec, our biggest benefit to customers is our single point of management for both physical and virtual systems. It's one console, one backup, one vendor. So we have both Backup Exec for larger organizations, we have Net Backup, but it really is that one solution that customers can use to protect their physical and virtual environments. And I talked about this a little earlier, but there really are some significant benefits. Reducing their cost and management of multiple products, reducing the cost of multiple agents. They can reduce their storage resources by using a single solution. I mentioned deduplication earlier. Well, guess what? We can deduplicate across physical and virtual environments. So that's even going to save them more on storage space. Big benefits, big thing to push with your customers with a single solution. Our competitive advantage is our V-Ray technology, and we've had this for a while now. Hopefully this is not the first time you've been hearing about it, but we kind of liken V-Ray technology to an X-ray, where our V-Ray technology gives customers the ability to get deep visibility into their virtual environment. You can see the data stream on the left that shows Backup Exec with V-Ray, and then you can see on the right what customers without Backup Exec see, which is a big chunk of data. And the advantage that gives us is that gives us the ability to recover much more quickly than customers without this technology, because we know exactly where that file is and where it was, and that gives us the ability to recover that much quicker. Obviously, you know, I work for Symantec. I love the product. I've been with this company for almost 13 years now, and I'm going to tell you it's wonderful. But don't take my word for it alone. We've got Infotech, which is a third-party that did a complete vendor landscape ranking. So they looked at all the different vendors that you can see on the screen, and they ranked their virtual backup software, and Symantec came out as the champion, the best overall value, and the leader, first out of 14 vendors. So share this with your customers, and you can go out and get the full report. They really did have some great things to say about it, and oftentimes we know customers won't take our word for it. They need to hear from others. They want to hear from people who've been using the product and third parties like Infotech. So hopefully you're using this in your sales tools. So I mentioned a single solution, and here's why it's important for you guys to help us get the word out. We did a survey in January of this year, and we surveyed over 500 people across the globe. And what we found out was 62% of organizations are using a separate solution to back up physical and virtual environments. However, what we found is that 91% of them are interested in learning more about or love the idea that a single solution can provide. So they want to learn more about the benefits the single solution can provide. And really, we need your help. We need your help to spread the word and talk about some of those benefits that I just mentioned a moment ago. Here's a couple of customer testimonials. So this customer has been using Backup Exec for several years, and his transition from physical to virtual didn't change his choice in data protection. And I'll just jump to the last sentence here. I'm confident based on my testing that Backup Exec gives me the ability to recover both physical and virtual in case of a disaster. So again, we know that customers like to hear from others. Share this. This is one of our success stories. And this is another analyst, Dave Simpson and Simon Robinson from the 451 group. They said that, most organizations are starting to evaluate and adopt multiple hypervisors. And their recommendation or their comment was our support for a broad range of applications and platforms, virtual, physical, and tape devices are key differentiators versus VM-only vendors. Okay, so where do you start? And I kind of mentioned this earlier, but start with helping your customers convert their physical to virtual. And it's really simple in Backup Exec, as I mentioned. You can do it at the same time. You can do it simultaneously. But this just really helps, ease their concerns about how do I get my environment over there. And then you can help them set up their backups and make sure that they're completely protected. The person or people that you really want to target your virtualization conversation to, go back to your Backup Exec install base. We have a lot of Backup Exec customers who are still very unfamiliar with the fact that we provide support for virtual machine protection. We've been providing support longer than any other vendor, since 2008. And I still, as we're out talking to customers, I still have some say, I didn't know you supported virtual machines. I don't know how to get the word out any differently. So, continue to push with your customers as well. Talk to the server admin, talk to the virtual ninja. These are the guys that really are focused at virtual machines and getting that environment set up for organizations. This deck, I believe, will make available to you later, but, it's really simple conversation starters. Where do you begin? Are you currently using virtualization? If so, how are you protecting it? How do you manage data protection for physical and virtual? I'm not going to take time to go through all these. You guys can read them, but you get the idea. It's pretty easy to start a conversation around virtualization and then dive in and get to exactly what their needs are. And in most of those cases, you'll see that Backup Exec can meet those needs when it comes to data protection for their virtual environment. So let's talk about the other key opportunity for partners. And this is one of the areas that we're seeing the most dramatic, most rapid growth with Backup Exec, and that is with our 3600 appliance. So we'll get to exactly what the appliance is in a minute, but talking about the overall market opportunity, this was from IDC. So what they're saying is that the appliance market is growing at 3 times the rate of the software market. So again, huge opportunity. What they're also seeing is an 80% year-over-year growth for the appliances. And in 2013. So this year they were estimating $1.7 billion sales for what's called purpose-built backup appliances, or PBBA, meaning appliances that have been built specifically for backup. So just huge opportunity and really significant growth area for us. And why do customers like appliances? It's really three key ways. It's very easy to use an appliance because it's everything all in one. It's cost effective when you look at the separate costs for the storage hardware, for all the software, for the maintenance. It's much more cost effective to buy it in an appliance versus all the different components separately. And then an appliance just overall, it's very dependable. With our appliance, we've tested everything to work together. So let me give you a little quick rundown if you're not familiar with our appliance. It is an unified install and configuration. So this appliance comes with hardware, software, license, support, all in one. So it gives you backup exec, you get the agents and options, you get remote office support, we have a tape out port on the appliance, and it really is low risk. It's an all-in-one solution. I mentioned that the compatibility is assured because we have tested all the components to work together. And it's a one-stop shop for support. So if your customer is having an issue with the software or the appliance, if they're using our appliance, they know they only have to go to one vendor to get support for their issues. So that is a big benefit. Now, where we see a lot of the common use cases for the appliance is in businesses who have limited or no IT, and they're really looking for that all-in-one configuration setup and forget about it. The Backup Exec appliance has up to 5.5 terabytes of storage, and that is deduplication is included. So effectively, you could be talking to a customer who has 30 to 40 terabytes of data that they can deduplicate down to that 5.5 terabyte size. This is also great for remote offices or branch offices where they just want something that's, drop it in, easy to set up and get running and to be able to protect that remote office. And they can also replicate those backups from those remote offices to the main office, so helping to standardize that protection. And then if any of you on the call are managed service providers, you can build a backup business around this, buy the appliance and do on-site backup and recovery for your customers. So different ways that customers can use this. We have a testimonial, and this is actually from ESG. So they got our appliance and did some tests on their own. One thing that's not on here on this slide is they got our appliance, pulled it out of the box, put it in, and they were up and running in 15 minutes. I think it was less than 15 minutes. So they just gave us great reviews on the appliance. They said it provides deduplication, greater backup and recovery options that speed productivity. Customers can be up and starting backup jobs in a matter of minutes. So if you're asking about the price point for appliances, here you go. There's actually two different prices. We have an Essential Protection Edition, which is priced, these are MSRP, at just over $15K. And then we have a Total Protection Edition, which is priced at $25K. Now the difference, and you can see there, the Total Protection Edition includes everything that comes with Backup Exec. The Essential Protection Edition does not include our enterprise server option, does not include NDMP and the other things you can see there. So you've got a couple of different options based on what your customers need when it comes to selling the appliance. Oops, I skipped ahead too many. So conversation starters for the appliance, just start out with talking to your customers about their environment. Do they already have an appliance that they're using for backups, or are they looking for an all-in-one solution? What are the costs associated with managing tape for customers who are looking to get rid of tape? This is a great option. It's disk-based. plug it in, and they're up and backing up right to this base appliance. And there really is very limited initial setup and configuration with this appliance. So I've talked a lot. I've covered a lot so far, but looking at when do you offer your customers what version of Backup Exec? Because we do have different offerings. So if you're looking for the right solution for your customer, here's an easy way to do it. Now, obviously, I'm sure you're going to ask a lot more questions, but initially, if your customer comes to you and they say, I need secure, affordable, automated backup that's easy to manage, they may be a good option for backupexec.cloud, which is an online backup, easy to set up, manage, and recover, and it's always online backup with it does now have a hybrid on-site feature. But if they're looking to back up to the cloud and they're typically a small business customer, that is an option for you. If they come to you and say, I need backup and recovery specifically for my virtual environment, you want to start your conversation around the V-Ray edition. The V-Ray edition, again, it is priced for virtual environments, and it really is, it's bundled together. So it includes Backup Exec, the agent for VMware and Hyper-V, deduplication, and protection for database and applications. So that's a great product to offer. And then if your customers are looking for an all-in-one hardware, software, then, pretty easy, you would start your conversation around the Backup Exec appliance. So for our partners, let me talk about some specific promotions that we have going on. We really do want to make sure you guys, your key goal, right, is to make your customers happy and make money while you're doing it. So we've got some promotions that are going on right now. We have our competitive upgrades, which are pretty standard. It's 35% off of MSRP. So if you have a customer who's using a competing solution, you can offer them 35% off of the MSRP for Backup Exec. We also have upgrades, which are also 35% off. So if you're talking to a customer who's using an earlier version and they're ready to make the move to 2012, we have that 35% off. Now, the other thing we have is a 3 years of maintenance. 3-year maintenance SKU where customers can save up to 20% off of the MSRP. And this one has added margin for partners as well. So good opportunity for you to sell any of these. You get points through Margin Builder or some of our other partner programs. So good opportunity. Now, the final promotion that we have going on, and I'm actually going to skip to the next slide so I can talk about it. It is really, it's an amazing deal where if you are talking to a new Backup Exec customer, they can save up to 65% off the MSRP for the Backup Exec V-Ray edition. If they're an existing Backup Exec customer looking to add virtual machine protection, then you could sell them the agent for VMware and Hyper-V, again, 65% off. No one can beat us at that price point right now. So it is a great deal. If you want more information on this specifically, you can go to backupexec.com/V1. So that's what we're calling this promotion. It's our V1 promotion, or virtual V1 promotion. And right now it's valid until the end of October. So you've got some time left to help push this to your customers. Additional resources, we'll wrap it up and then we'll get to Q&A. PartnerNet, so if you are a Symantec partner, and I know Ingram has a partner portal as well. We've got our PartnerNet where we've got quick start guides and cheat sheets and everything to help you spell Backup Exec. The other thing I want to point out is we just recently came out with a Backup Exec Partners Toolkit. And this toolkit, really, it has 3 capabilities right now. One is it's a deduplication assessment tool. So you can use this toolkit, take it to your customers, and you can very easily help them identify what kind of savings they're going to see from a deduplication assessment. It'll assess their entire environment and tell you how much they'll save by using Backup Exec deduplication. The other part of this tool is a front-end capacity analyzer tool. So if you've got a customer who's maybe interested in licensing our capacity version, the capacity edition, this front-end capacity analyzer tool will go in and analyze how much capacity they have and help you very, very quickly figure out, well, if they've got, 1 terabyte of capacity, then you would want to sell them one license of that capacity edition. And then we have a performance analyzer tool. So this will go in and analyze the performance of their backup and maybe help you tweak some things to get performance improvements. So this is free of charge, available at no cost to partners, and you can get this on Symantec.com/connect. So if you go to the partners section of Symantec Connect, you can access this partner toolkit today. The other thing that is key for many of our partners is free trialware, and that really is one of your biggest sales tools you can use. When you're talking to customers about Backup Exec, encourage them to go download the trialware. It's free, 60-day trialware. It's fully functional. They can test out all the agents and options, and customers can get that right from backupexec.com. So what to do now? Go to PartnerNet, get the sales tools. We've got presentations, sales scripts, everything to help you sell Backup Exec. If you have questions, we've got FAQ documents, just a whole host of tools and materials available on PartnerNet. And download the trialware or NFR software. If you're a partner, you get access to NFR software if you're a Symantec partner, so you can use it and install it in your environment. And follow us on Twitter, @BackupExec. We've been really a lot more vocal on Twitter over the last year, and that's where you'll see us post beta announcements. So I mentioned we've got a version of Backup Exec that will add a lot of the support that I talked about earlier. We're going to be announcing on Twitter when we've got that beta available, so keep your eyes posted to that as well. Now, what I want to do is turn some time over to Stacy at Ingram, and she's going to walk through the resources that Ingram has available for you, the Symantec resources. Stacy?
Yes, thank you, and thank you for joining us today, everyone. I am from the market development team here at Ingram Micro that's solely dedicated to Symantec. We have a dedicated team for Symantec of over 40 associates that support Symantec and only Symantec. This is in addition to the largest distribution field sales team in the U.S., which serves as an extension to our Ingram Micro sales organization. And on the next slide, you'll see a brief overview of our team here. We have 2 field deployable market development managers, as well as 2 inside resources that can assist you with trainings, business plannings, help to grow your Symantec business, and close deals. Our licensing team here is also here to assist with customized Symantec quotes, help you track orders, purchase order verifications, and you can reach one of our 30 dedicated reps Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We also offer free pre-sales tech support at Ingram that can assist you with your Symantec solution and host product demonstrations for you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Stacy. Again, number of resources available for you at Ingram. They really are there to help you with any Symantec questions that you have, whether it be licensing or, anything it has. You want to do a marketing campaign or something, they're there to help you. I do have my little disclaimer in here. Everything that I've talked about in terms of what's coming up is subject to change. We've got our plans in place and we have our plan of record, but anything could change. So just be aware of that in terms of futures that I've discussed on this call today. So with that, we are going to go ahead and open it up for Q&A. So operator, can you help us with that?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star followed by 1 on your phone, then immediately record your first and last name followed by the pound key. To ensure your question is registered, you must record your name. If your question has been answered or you would like to withdraw your question, press star followed by 2. Questions will be taken in the order received, and we will pause momentarily to compile a list of questions.
While we're waiting, I did see a question that came through on the chat of, does backupexec.cloud provide support for bare metal recovery if they're using a hybrid on-site installation? And I don't know the answer to that. I don't work directly with backupexec.cloud, but I can definitely find out for you. So go ahead and send me an email if you'd like, Jason, and I can follow up with you on that. My email is Susie, that's SUSIE _Spencer @Symantec.com. An operator for I got disconnected from the WebEx, so I don't know if any other questions have come through the chat that I did not see earlier. But
Susie, there is a question regarding, can you use an external storage with the appliance?
Yes, you can. So we do have a couple of spaces where you can attach an external device, whether it's a tape drive or if it's an external disk device, if you want to replicate those backups to another storage. There's a couple of different USB 2.0 ports on the appliance that you can use for that. Any phone questions?
No? Operator, are there any live phone questions for the group?
No, there are currently no questions in the queue.
Okay. Well, again, this is Mia Zupton from Ingram Micro, and I would like to thank everybody for joining the meeting today. A couple of housekeeping items before we close out the call. First, I wanted to let everybody know that we have recorded this meeting today, and we will be sending out some follow-up communications to all attendees, including the presentation with the recording. So you will be able to share that presentation in your organization that Susie was kind enough to do today. And a big thank you both Susie and Stacy for their presentation today and for discussing Backup Exec and Symantec. And the moment that everybody's been waiting for, we do have 3 winners chosen at random for the 3 Amazon $100 gift cards. And that would be Tammy McCune from Protech Systems Group, Fraser Gensler, and I apologize if I'm butchering your name, to Vital Solutions International, as well as Daniel Wetschler from Discovery Educational Systems Corp. And just to let you know how you go ahead and receive these, we will be emailing you individually within the next 24 to 48 hours with instructions on how to receive your prize. So again, congratulations to Tommy, Fraser, and Daniel. All right. Well, I'd like to close out the meeting today, and hopefully that there's no further questions. And thank you again to Susie for your presentation. Have a nice afternoon, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.